Huh? Keep talking. Say what now? And then I slept at 05 because I'm pushing to my phone. And then I woke up at 11:40 something. And then they told me they're at the gate at 11:08. So I had to run. Why? Yeah, I woke up at 9. Happened at 10. Yeah. Oh, guys, my birthday is. Continue. No, but you can just send me money. What? A second. I asked you guys to tell me your birthday today. How long have I been telling you my birthday? See, this relationship is one-sided. We want to be one same. Yeah, I don't know what I'm supposed to be saying. That's very good. One, two. Maybe it's not on.
Yes. Just one. You know this. Talk to someone. Have a conversation.
How's your day? Very bad. How's your day? What's good, Sky Fam? Welcome to episode 2 of Mind Coolness. I'm your host, Ntandonse, and my things are dancing, singing, and math. Not my things is creepy crawlies and bad vibes. And I'm here with...
Hey Sky Fam, my name is Judith Katongopi, and my things are good energy, adventure, eating. Not my things are bad energy, chikwela, and bad hygiene.
Hello, Sky Fam. My name is Catherine Machpisa. So my thing is adventure, good vibes, and good food. Not my thing are bad vibes, bad food, and bad people.
And of course, our mental health expert. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, Sky Girls. I'm Namatama Luvinda, the mental health activist, and my things are good food, dancing, and spending time in the presence of God. Not my thing is disorder, bad vibes, and bad breath.
So today's topic is coping with anxiety. I have a few questions for you, if you don't mind. Have you ever experienced anxiety, and how best would you describe it?
I would describe anxiety as a feeling of uneasiness, nervousness, and fear.
Okay. How would you describe anxiety?
I would describe it as the fear of and worries of something that's yet to come, so that's in the future.
Okay. Namatama, please could you provide us an overview of what exactly anxiety is and the different forms it comes in?
Anxiety disorders are mental health disorders that are characterized by an irrational fear of things
Feel anxious.
Some situations that trigger my anxiety is when I'm under pressure mostly, and the other thing is where I get to overthink about something, having to worry about the future, which is something that I do not know of, and that also triggers my anxiety levels raising up.
Okay. What are some of the situations that you feel that?
Just like she said, I feel anxiety when I'm under pressure and when I overthink as well. I feel like when I'm put under pressure, I start to, like maybe example, I'll like do like the collecting, like maybe touch my hands or yeah.
Okay. Could you also care to give us examples of some of the situations you've been in where you're feeling anxious?
Okay, so one of the situations I've been in is at home when we were having an exam. So during that exam, the teachers were like they were putting me under pressure, saying, "Oh, you need to get these results. You need to pass. You need to do this. You need to do that, and all that stuff." And at the time, I was like feeling like I'm not doing enough. Yeah, I was like put under a lot of pressure. So like every time I would feel, oh no, I'm not like doing enough. No, I need to put in more work when I'm already doing enough.
Personally, some of the situations that trigger my anxiety is when I'm around a lot of people. Being around a lot of people really makes me anxious. I don't know. It's social anxiety, right? Yeah, social anxiety. I think it's one of my biggest anxiety disorders, and I'm learning day by day how to deal with them. So, Namatama, another question for you. What are some of the misconceptions about anxiety that exist in your line of work?
Okay, so some misconceptions are as follows. Firstly, anxiety disorder is seen as a lack of patience or as attention seeking, and also it is often seen as a girl thing. A lot of the time when somebody is experiencing anxiety, especially
detailed experience about your anxiety and how it's affected your daily life, and also how it affects your decision-making process.
I remember one time in school where we had a debate actually.
Yeah.
So I was one of the panelists, and I had this thing of feeling anxious and rubbing my hands thoroughly, doing the leg thing she says, being stressed, and it wasn't that hot that day, but I started sweating out of nowhere, and the way how it affects my daily life, maybe let me say at school, the way it affected me, I almost forgot some points, because of the same anxiety, but I had to cope with it, had to calm down, had to think of the positives, had to think of the benefits I'll get from the debate, and that's how I coped with it.
Okay, and how did it affect your decision making?
The same way of losing the points in the process of overthinking.
Okay.
Yes.
And how does it affect your decision making?
Like she said, like the whole class thing, like being put under pressure, like you go into an exam and then you start like thinking, oh, the teacher's this, the teacher's that. I feel like for me, it almost made me like not finish the paper. I was like, I don't think I'll manage, I don't think I'll do this. And then for the decision making, I feel like I would like overthink more than I'm supposed to like think. Like the way she also said, like the debate thing, she lost some points. Yeah.
Okay. So Namatama, as you said, most people misconcept the fact that anxiety is a girl's thing, right? How do you think girls can cope with anxiety, and what do you think they can do to handle anxiety?
Okay, before I give some tips, I have a book called How to Cope Without use COPE as an acronym. So COPE is creating opportunities for positive emotions. So whatever the mental health issue is that you are experiencing, you have to find a way to create opportunities for positive emotions. So with anxiety, the first thing that you have to do is be aware and accept the fact that you have that disorder. The next thing is for you to identify your triggers. Anxiety triggers differ from person to person, as we have seen. And so even the way that you are going to deal or cope with that anxiety differs from person to person. So some of the coping strategies that I can recommend within your capacity: one, breathing exercises. When you feel an anxiety attack coming on, there's a way in which you can regulate your breathing to make your chemicals calm down. And then there is also a box that I usually teach on how to use it when you're having an anxiety attack. I'll try to explain it as quickly as I possibly can. So you imagine a box in your head, and imagine that there is a little ball that's going around that box. So you count 5 seconds from one corner to the other, and that you're imagining that box moving, okay? So in the first 5 seconds, you take a deep breath in. The next 5 seconds, you hold your breath. The next 5 seconds, you breathe out. The next 5 seconds, just like that. So you do that over and over again until you have calmed down. There are many other strategies, but I think those are the easiest.
Okay. It's very hard for us to cope with anxiety, right? Not everybody sees anxiety as something that's very easy to deal with. But what strategies have you developed on your own that you can say, okay, this has helped me deal with my anxiety, and yeah, share them with us?
Okay, the first thing I would say is affirmation. Telling yourself that, okay, you can do this, you got this, things like that. And also meditating, another thing. And also, I would also recommend like finding your inner peace. Yeah, that's really important. How do you?
Okay, the way how I cope with anxiety exactly is the same thing you said. Meditation. Meditation is quite helpful, and it has helped me as well.
How do you meditate? I'm not sure I know how to meditate.
Okay, meditation is that simple. You just go in a quiet place, sit, stop thinking about everything, act as if you're numb. You know what numbness is, right?
Yes.
Yes, just act as if you're numb. Then think of the positives. Think of, okay, if I do this, this will be the outcome. Just think of the positive side and forget about the negatives or the bad parts. So once you forget about them, you'll be able to cope with anxiety. And the other thing is exercising regularly. So as for myself, I don't exercise that much. So the thing that I just do is I'll just put music, right? Instead vibing to it, just dancing, jumping up and down, and at the end I'll sweat. Go and take a shower, then I'm free to do better.
Okay. So Namatama, how or when do you think, it's not all the time when we're able to cope with anxiety on a personal level on our own. Sometimes we need professional help. So at what point or how far should somebody's anxiety go for them to decide to seek professional help?
Okay, so mental health issues are just the same as physical health issues, and they should be treated as such. When you are experiencing symptoms of a physical issue, of a physical illness, you go to the hospital immediately. So even for mental health issues, any mental health issue, I would recommend seeking help the moment that you experience those symptoms. Even if you're not sure if it's anxiety, if you have a reason to believe so, seek help.
Okay. And what available resources are there for us to seek mental health?
Okay, I'll start with the biggest, which is Chainama Hospital. And recently, the government has been opening up mental health departments even in other hospitals. So you can check your nearest general health center and find out if they have mental health facilities. And also, general health workers are receiving trainings on how to deal with mental health issues. So you can even ask your general doctor or general clinician because they are supposed to have those skills.
Right. Don't you think people say, oh no, Chainama is mostly meant for just mad people? Please help them understand that it's not just for mad people, it's for anything to do with your health.
Yes, yes, Chainama Hospital is a hospital that caters to everyone, literally everyone. Even if you don't believe that you have a serious mental health disorder, they will cater to you. Apparently, close to 70% of people who go to the hospital for general health issues actually are experiencing a mental health issue. So it's even better for you to go to Chainama and get referred to a general health issue than vice versa. Although it's overcrowded now, but yes, Chainama is for everyone.
Okay. And at the end of the day, it's not all the time when you have the capacity or the time to actually go to a mental health facility to then seek professional help. Sometimes it's okay to just talk to your loved ones, talk to people around you. How important do you think it is to talk to your loved ones about your mental health, about what you're going through, maybe your friends, your sisters, and stuff like that? How important do you think it is to open up? Okay, so why I think it's important to open up is because you can get help before the issue worsens. Because a problem shared is a problem solved. So I feel like you may get help where needed. And also I feel like from, let's say, your family members are the ones helping you, they will gain that experience just in case someone also is going through the same issue. They can also give them one or two tips on how to come about it. And how important do you think it is?
It is quite important because you cannot deal with something on your own. Like, you know, when you're burdened, it's not easy. So I'd give an example of a classroom, right? Where you're good in other subjects. We take 8 subjects, that's for me. So like, let's say I'm in a pure class. Some know ADMA very well, and I know the pure sciences very well. So once I get to mingle with those guys, we'll be creating a study timetable and start bringing up points which we know from our own perspectives. And so once I hear from my friend, I'll also be able to bring out my own and solve the issue. And at the end, we'll pass the exams. That's the same thing with anxiety. Once you open up to other people, they also open up to you, and you gain some knowledge from them, and at the end, be able to solve the solution.
So in an event where you're not good at talking about things like me, I'm one person who's very bad at expressing themselves, and usually how I deal with my anxiety, I usually just sit down alone, listen to music and sleep, and find something to get my mind off things. But I've realized at the end of the day, it's not the best solution. So if you're a person like me who's socially anxious, who's not good at talking, what do you do? What advice would you give?
I'm a person who's they say antisocial as well. I'm antisocial very much. I'd rather spend the whole day on my phone doing nothing in the house. Like people think as if I'm not even home. So the way you'd actually do it, because as for me, I think I express my views mostly on the phone, because even with people I interact with on the phone, they think when they meet me in person, they'll be like, "Are you the person who I talk to on the phone?" Or maybe you just had an AI to be talking to me or something. Yes. So find means and ways in which you can express yourself freely in a time. Just have one person whom you trust most. Talk to them, open up, and I'm sure you'll be able to find the solution to it.
Okay, so Ms. Namatama, how can we create an environment, a safe space for people who go through anxiety, especially amongst us young people?
First of all, by having conversations such as these. These conversations help young people learn about anxiety and also to understand that they are not alone. So it's important to continue learning about mental health disorders, sharing your experiences, and seeking expert advice as well. And also find time to spend time with people who are going through the disorders that you want to learn about, because the best person to learn from is somebody who has experience with that thing. They are actually called experts by experience. And before I became an expert, I was an expert by experience. And you get raw information from somebody who's experienced that. And not only will you get the information, but it will also help you to be empathetic towards people with similar situations. If you are not being empathetic, you are being
pathetic. Okay, so some of the Sky Girls are asking questions saying, sometimes it's not okay to talk to people about it because you end up being judged. They're always wondering, how are you having anxiety when you're young? You don't have problems, you don't have bills to pay, you don't have all sorts of things. What are you anxious about? You're just seeking attention. So this one Sky Girl says, it's not much help to talk to family sometimes. Also, people judge, like, how does a young person have anxiety? We're not even adults. Some isolation is helpful sometimes. Do you think it's the right path? Do you think she's right, or she can choose a better route?
I understand where she's coming from, and her feelings and thoughts are very valid because, like she's said, people are judgmental and it's difficult to talk to certain people. But everybody has their person. Everybody has that one person that they can go to and share embarrassing things with. It doesn't always have to be somebody who knows in depth about the disorder. You can share with your best friend, whoever you see as your best friend, because I don't think anyone in their right mind would choose to have a best friend who's judgmental or a best friend who spreads information out there. On the part of isolation, Human beings are social animals, and that's why when we isolate, we put ourselves at risk of having many disorders, not only mental health disorders, but even physical health disorders, because a human being is not meant to be alone, okay? So it's important to have a social life. Find your people, even if it's spending an hour or two with strangers, even if you're not talking about that particular thing. Avoid isolation.
Okay, so I would like to ask some of the Sky Girls who are here with us how best they deal with their anxiety, and possibly describe to us what kinds of anxiety they have. So, you over there. Can you describe to us what your definition of anxiety is, what kind of anxiety you've gone through, and how you deal with it?
Okay, my name is Barbara, and my thing is singing and eating. My thing is bad vibes and poor hygiene. So I would describe anxiety as mainly fear. Yeah, fear of things that aren't really there. And I have experienced anxiety, and the type of anxiety I experience is social anxiety, where I have anxiety in places where there are a lot of people. So how I cope with that is like accepting the reason why I'm there and understanding why I'm doing what I'm doing at that place. And just listening to music.
Okay, let me ask how Maria. How do you think girls can deal with anxiety?
Okay, my name is Mary Kamanga. My thing is food, family, and God.
Okay.
Not my thing is unproductive friendships, jealousy, and hatred among girls. I would describe anxiety as the fear of something that's about to happen. Like it's all in your head, where, okay, for example, you're going to present something and you're scared of standing in front because maybe that's your first time and you've really never done it. Or maybe you're just scared people might judge you, or maybe you're like, how are they looking at me? Am I dressed well? Is this okay? And stuff. Yeah. And I feel like the best way to deal with anxiety, like the way I deal with anxiety myself, is by prayer. Every time I ask God to give me a peaceful mind and a happy heart, it actually works because God is not a man. Yeah, things work. And the other thing is finding a safe place. I mostly do the things that I love when I feel anxious. If it's making content, I would make content when I'm low. But then sometimes it's not helpful, yes, to talk to other people because at the end, when you get judged, I feel like it gets worse. You start blaming yourself. Why did I open up to this person and stuff? And the people where when you open up your situation, you take it somewhere else. Yeah. So I basically advised prayer to be part of us because it really helps. God never fails us, and He actually knows us and how we feel. So if we can't get help from people outside, yeah, you can see someone who deals with mental issues like her. And then if you can't find anyone, like if you don't have productive friends where if you talk to them, they won't judge you, I feel like the best thing is just to pray and find what you really love and what calms you down. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any questions? Anything you'd like to know from the audience?
I have a question. My name is Nelly Lutambo, and my thing.
Please stand.
My name is Nelly Lutambo, and my things are eating, cooking, and writing. Mm-hmm. My things are bad vibes and body shaming. I have a question. The question that I have today is that what if your parents or your loved ones are always busy? They don't have time for you. When you're trying to talk to your friends just tell you, you are too young to have such things in your life. How can you be depressed? You've never gone through such things. How do you cope with such things when that happens?
Okay, I'll throw this question over to our mental health expert over here.
Okay, in a case where your social circle is not very helpful or supportive, it's important to seek help elsewhere. Change your circle. there are always people out there who think like you, believe you, and care about you. So I don't know what religion you are, but it's important, if you are Christian, to pray for God to bring the people that He will use to heal you.
Okay, I hope she's answered your question.
Yes.
Maybe a divine contribution as well.
Yeah, please go ahead.
There are times where you say that you're busy, right? You have busy parents. So I just heard this from somewhere, whereas in like, you know, a suggestion box at school, that. So like you write down your thoughts, the things that trouble you down, if they are understandable and if they think of the same thing as you. So you just bring up a suggestion box in the house, write down your problems and all that, put them in the suggestion box, maybe on the weekends at this, you bring them out, you start talking about them. Oh, this is what troubles this one. Okay, they may be able to understand you if only they're understandable, but if not, then yeah, seek God's guidance.
Do you have any other questions?
Yes, there are in my head.
My name is sorry. My name is Ntandonse. My things are dancing, singing. Not my things, bad vibes, and toxic friends. My question is that, how do I face my fears?
I'm not sure I know how to answer that question, so I'll give it over to Nawatama again.
Right.
How do you face your fears? 2 words. Head on. You will never be ready to face your fears. So you have to face your fears when they are standing right in front of you. Are your fears things that if you were to face them, you would die? Ask yourself those questions. Will I die if I face this fear? Will I lose myself if I face this fear? Will I be compromising my morals if I face this fear? If the answers to those questions is no, then face them head on. Do what you have to do or what you want to do, scared, fearful, anxious, tired. Do it despite what your body or your mind tells you. Face them what?
Do you have any more questions?
Yes, please go ahead. Okay. My name is Grace Shabana, and my things are good friends, good energy, and good friends. Not my things is walking along distance and watching too much TV and bad vibes. So my question is, right now where most of us are going through exam pressure, and would like to ask, how can we just give a relief from just finding someone who can tell you, are you afraid, or why are you doing this? Why aren't you studying? Why are you not with a book? How to just be somewhere where no one can ask you such questions?
Can I answer the question?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, so what I can tell you is, I'm also like in an exam class, right? So one thing I'll tell you is take breaks. It's okay to take breaks. Sometimes you may get tired. And let me say, you have parents, right? They'll tell you, why aren't you studying? Why aren't you with a book? Like maybe I would say, try your best to explain to them, because at the end of the day, they are your parents. They also like may have to hear your views sometimes. So what I would advise you is like try your best to talk to them and try your best to like tell them how you feel. Like you may be tired, because at the end of the day as well, when you're like studying for an exam, when you're tired, the things don't get. You get that. Yeah. So try your best.
Another thing is also.
Okay, I would say.
Go ahead.
All right. So you say that you're pressurized too much, like you need to study and all that. You need to be with your books everywhere. People think as if you're mad at the end of the day. So for sure. So I was pressurized as well when I remember when I was writing my grade 9, they were like, exam your grade 9, your course, it's hard, you know, and all that. But I came to realize that whatever we are learning is what will be coming. So once you study what you're learning is what is going to come in the exam exactly. So people used to exaggerate things. oh, it's hard, it's all that. So I used to brush that off because I knew what I was doing. I passed through exam papers and had to find out more about it.
Also, another very important thing I'll tell you is learn to manage your time. There's time for everything. If you say you'll be studying every day from 5 to 6, and then you study again from 14 to 16, then you study again from 20 to 21, that's okay. And during those periods when you're studying, make sure you're maximizing your studies in that little time. So even if you're not studying anymore, let's say you take a TV break, you take a break to go outside, you take a break maybe to go out with your friends, you're not feeling that guilt that no, you haven't done anything productive. At the end of the day, if you're doing things that are productive enough, there'll be no reason for you to feel guilty or feel anxious about failing when you know you're doing the right thing. Do you have anything to say?
Okay, so it's like what you are seeking is some kind of comfort with productivity. Now, for you to attain comfort, you have to do uncomfortable things. So if you are in an exam class, like she said, study what is being taught. So you have to plan, have a vision for your life, and write down how you plan to achieve that. Set attainable and realistic goals. Know also your attention span. Some people have a short attention span, others have a long attention span. For example, me, my attention span is very short. After 45 minutes, I just can't anymore. So the way that I do things is I work in blocks of 45 minutes. So if I'm studying, if I'm preparing for a presentation, I work in those blocks, and then 15 minutes, I rest and do silly things, dance, sing, go back to work. Make sure that as you are taking breaks, you are doing things that are good for you. It's uncomfortable to study each and every day while you are not in an exam class, but that will help, because when you accumulate that information gradually, it's very difficult for it to leave your mind. And so even when you are about to write exams, you don't panic. You know that you got this. And if you have a written timetable, from 9 hours to 9:45, I'll study science. From 10 hours to 10:45, I'll study this. From 11 hours to 14 hours, I'm going to rest, I'm going to play, I'm going to do all the nonsense things. That's how it is. It's your schedule. So don't let anybody make you explain yourself, because at the end of the day, even if your parents are the ones that are taking you to school, it's your education and your mental health matters. Remember that you matter more to your education than your education matters to you. You will exist even without the education, okay? But you will not have that qualification if your mind is not taken care of. So know yourself and do the things to make the things happen.
Okay, I think we've all taken note. So some of our fellow Sky Sisters who are watching this live, let me just read the comments to you. So a comment from Ruthie saying, I love this topic, girls. I hope it can help me relax. I think it can.
Yeah, it can.
Mind coolness.
She's relaxing me.
She's relaxing. And then another comment from Chichi Nams, overcoming anxiety. Interesting. This is a very interesting topic, actually. Danji Nalungwe says, okay, it's not much help talking to my family. I think we already talked about this one. And then we've got a Doreen Mumba saying, this is so helpful for us teenagers. Keep it up. Hope to join you guys next time. Please, Shab, come and join us next time. We love you so much. At least I'm getting tips on how to control my anxiety. Yeah, that's the main purpose of this today, to help somebody out there, you know. We're all going through different stuff at the end of the day, and I hope this has helped somebody. Okay, I think we're done. That's all we had for you guys on today's episode of Mind Coolness. Yeah, do we have any last words to say?
I'll say mine last.
Yes. Okay, Kevin, go first.
Okay, so the other thing that adds on to the anxiety is pressure. Pressure is the major thing. So as girls, we are pressurized a lot. So the thing that I'm just giving you guys a hint or rather a tip for you to make your life to have less pressure. So make a schedule of your day-to-day life. As for me, I go to school, so make a schedule of your day. So I knock off around 14. Let me just say 14. So I say the period of 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. I'll be in school. The other time I'll sleep. The other time I'll study. The other time is for washing the dishes. The other time is for cooking. And the other time is for sleeping. So once you make the schedule, any pressure that will be coming in, there will be no room for it because you already created room for things that you're about to do. And that's the way how you can flow to avoid so much pressure. Let's say you have to study and your friend will be like, oh, we're going out for shopping. Why go out for shopping when you know that studying is on your schedule? So if you work on your schedule mainly, it will help you grow mentally.
Also, to add on to what she said, self-control is a very important role in all of this. But at the end of the day, if you're letting yourself just move with the wind and be blown by what the wind is saying, that's how you can develop more pressure. Because before you realize it, you're like, oh, I don't have time to do this, I didn't do this, and now you have little time to do everything you're supposed to do. At the end of the day, pressurizing yourself and even getting more anxious. So self-control is very important in all of this. I feel like you've summed up everything. I feel like having self-control, like you said, is very important because at the end of the day, you feel really guilty of not doing like what you were supposed to do. Yeah. So I feel like self-control is something that's really important, and also making time for everything.
Yeah. In addition, maybe that's for a bit. It's like going for a hike without a map. Like how you be in the forest without a map, because you need to go with a map. So be a person with a guide. That's the main thing I would say.
Okay, so physics, anyone? Yay! Okay. The Earth is held by what? The axis, right? So no matter what happens to the Earth, whether there are earthquakes, whether there are floods, and so on and so forth, the Earth will still revolve and be in its position because of the what?
The axis.
Others, you're not answering. Because of the what? So have an axis. Your axis should be your morals, your values, and your principles. Make sure that you have those aligned and never, ever, ever compromise them for anyone, because that way, if you don't have an axis, what happens? You become like Pluto. They just removed it. Oh, it's no longer a planet. Be that planet that always has an axis. And it's very impressive to see adolescents making deliberate moves to make the world a better place. So clap for yourselves. I'm proud of you.
Okay, that's all we had for you guys in today's episode of Mind Coolness. Today's topic was coping with anxiety, and I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys have picked up one or two things from our conversation. I hope to see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.